Hello, my beautiful people from Untouchable Mama. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Please do not forget to subscribe and press the notification button. Thank you. One love. Bye bye.
This evening. Now, basically, because of say, I want clear the air on one thing about Kotisugbo, and the reason why this guy don't they feel so threatened seeing me in any issues. He don't lie about me, so he don't tire. Now no be the lie. Now to the first thing go fit dey intimidate me. They share videos of wetin I no do. Now basically that video wey Kotisugbo dey share na video wey emanate from me. I no deny the video say no be me do am. Na video wey emanate from me, but that video was not posted on any social media platform. That video was to draw the attention of comrades on a social media platform where civil society activists in Edo State were. And as admins and as leaders in that platform, we were not allowed to carry any information that is deposited on that platform to any media fora. But I'm surprised that Kotisugbo has ever since been putting that video on the media, all because he wants to paint me to be a bad person before the palace. Yes, I was aggrieved at the time where the only area in Benin where we used to get our local attire for occasions and functions was demolished. So when I met one of the persons who was actually trading with me, one woman, she said, look at the situation. Then later on, we tried to draw the attention of the palace, and the monarch did compensated them. That issue, that video was never posted on any platform. Kotisugbo, maybe being privileged to be a member, decided to keep the video at some point, only to the fact that Kotisugbo has always known that I have the capacity to reduce his excesses. I can boldly tell you today that go and ask people who are still living. Daneche, the president of Edo Youth Congress, from far back 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, was a very, very familiar person to Kotisugbo. We all came together sometime in 2011. What I'm talking about is over 10 years ago. We all came together as young men and as comrades to see how we can advance the cause of youth inclusiveness and participation in politics, in the issue of organizing our society to get government to do the needful. That was far back in 2012. That was the time when I met the likes of Kola Edopaye today. That's why I met the likes of Stanley Osakwinokodi. That was on that same platform I met the likes of Fares Opere. On that same platform of Edo Youth Congress, I met Comrade Harrison. On that same platform, I met Hope Hopeful. On that same platform, my association with that platform, I met John Osage. I met very many people today that have made waves in their engagements with society in Edo State. All of these persons are still living to tomorrow. They can tell you my person, they know me very well. Now, to cut the long story short, because I'm not here to preach history, Kotisugbo is fond of using platforms to enrich himself. That has been his trademark right from Edo Youth Congress, even with the community face-to-face initiative that he was operating. This Benin Solidarity movement that is currently flying today, people who started this movement, you think, were the likes of Kola Edopaye, were the likes of John Osage, were the likes of Hope Hopeful, President co-founder, name them. But these are the popular faces, comrades that were on the forefront to fight for the emancipation of Edo people, that we all started civil society practice in this current republic with in Edo State, particularly under the Adams Ali Oshomole first term government in Edo State. When we saw that civil society was not vibrant, then I was in the University of Abuja. I was always traveling from Abuja to Benin. So my conscious Edo people, I have always known Kotisugbo as somebody who was who has the force to be punctual to fight for activities. But I never knew that there's a large mental reasoning of his to always gather resources in the name of leader to himself. Resources that is accrue to the advancement of an organization. Edo Congress, under the former leadership of, I think it should be Saturday Owoleko, am I correct? Or somebody before him. No, that should be under Okwa Obo as the NDDC chairman. Nigeria Delta Development Commission were giving Edo groups, particularly civil society groups, funding to represent their activities and monitor their activities in Edo State. I want people to listen. Monies were coming, slots were coming that would have ordinarily empowered comrades and followers to do, you know, what will advance their living standard and also keep them active in the work of advocacy. Kotsubo, they are all living today, and I'm not lying. Stanley Osakunokodi, half of you who are watching me today knows him. Most of you might not know Daneche, because along the line when social media became a tool for some of us to begin to air our voices, Daneche was far from the reach of civil activities in the state. I have not done anything virtually wrong to somebody like Konsegosa Ugbo, to the extent that Ugbo will begin to analyze me as a Delta State man, when he himself knows very, very well that I hail from Benin City. I hail from Benin Kingdom. Konsegosa, knowing fully well that the moment he was setting his tentacles in Ologbo to get the current oil slot is enjoying a salary from Ologbo and their contract work that the Enoge is sitting on, and only choice people in the communities are benefiting from. I've been saying it is not today. Konsegosa ensured that he started preaching to Edo people that I was collecting money from Ashelege. In fact, he went as far as telling Edo people that I was married to Ashelege's daughter. God on earth knows what I'm saying here today is nothing but the truth. Do you know that the so-called Ashelege daughter that he alleged me of today, he has not been able to come out with any proof to show? When that did not win the wind of falsehood, Konsegosa entered the fact that he said I had intentions to bomb the Oba of Benin's palace. I want everybody to listen very well. Oh. He hired one of the best lawyers in Benin. I want everybody to listen. They wrote 3 petitions against me in a space of 2 weeks. I want the world to hear. Oh. Their intentions were very simple. Was to ensure that they will arrest me from the AIG. When one petition was failing, they will use the second one to see how they can still rearrest me for a period of 4 to 5 days, while they will perfect whatever they intend to do within the umbrella neighborhood of Olugbo and whatever crisis was going on with Sonny Eche, Johnson Ashelege. I never knew Johnson Ashelege. Kola is still alive today. Engineer Festus, Madam Ekator's daughter. What do you call the other woman again? Madam Becky Ekator from UK. Jeremiah Ekator from Germany. I know all of you are still alive. You people can also hear and watch this video and come out on your various platforms, even on this my platform, to comment. Now, when they told me about the issue of Ashelege and collecting the same Ekator land that Konsegosa wanted to snatch in Olugbo, where they want to sell to a company using the name of the palace and the Enoge of Olugbo and Edo State government to deceive a vast majority of the people, so the large bulk of the money will come to them. I'm coming to that. All of this, I try as much as possible to stop it rather than come out on social media to analyze it this way. Now, all of these things were ongoing. Konsegosa has made several attempts to use police. He failed. When the police realized that Konsegosa plans was just to incarcerate me, I took my time. I'm not a dullard. I played all the videos at my reach, even the video where they are shouting at me that I was talking about the Obas Rosary, they should go and play the video from the very first minute. From the very first minute when it was a live video in 2016. They should go and play that video from the very first. It's still on my wall. They should go and play the video from the beginning of the video to the very end. We had just finished a successful declaration for the Edo Bendel Midwestern Region Declaration, spearheaded by our brother, very sound intellectual I respect, no other person than Pedro Baseki. I want you all to listen. So some of us who are on social media were given the mandate to ensure that we drag the attention of everybody to what was going on about the Midwest Declaration. Then Nnamdi was calling for referendum. We cannot be taken unawares as people in our society. We started preaching. It was in the middle of that video I made mention that what are we benefiting from Nigeria? What has Nigeria got to benefit an average Benin when we produce the oil? The northerners who do not produce anything are the ones who own oil wellheads in our state. This is not coming from me. It has been on the media before. So why is it that our traditional council is not waking us up, particularly those who are active with the business of society, to also call for a referendum when we are seeing what was happening in the Midwest, in the Middle Belt? As conscious people, we decide to say, come on, we must create awareness in our society. As at this time, I never had issue with Kotusugbo. In fact, most times Kotusugbo will call me, Kola Idopaye is still living, to say, my brother, see this issue, I want me you, more not join, but more will fight this level. On several occasions, Kola is still living. If there's a proceed that will come from whatever we have done, for say thank you, Ugbo, he will not pick your call. He will tell you that there's no problem. He will know what to do. No problem. He has boy. He has one or two. He will just cook up a story. He was never a straightforward person. I can mention on and on and on. These people are still living. Now, we are talking about a man who I have known for over 10 years with his character. I have known Kotusugbo for over 10 years with his character. Now I met him in an issue in Ologbo. I picked my phone. I'm so happy that GSM don't tell lies. If you go to check my history from when I started showing the world what Kotusugbo was doing in Ologbo and how I started gathering informations, because one engineer Festus contacted me and said that he wanted me to look into the issue of Johnson Ashelege collecting the Ekato farmland, which is this same Ekato farmland that I have recently called Ugbo a land grabber over. And I said, sir, what do you mean by that? He said, okay, let me wait for his sister to call me. The woman came. Her explanation was very clear to me that she was the only person in Nigeria. Her land, Johnson wanted to grab the land and sell individually. In fact, Johnson had already sold some portion from what I gathered. But later Johnson now said that the portion that he took was not him, was the Ologbo community. That if you are in doubt, they should go and show them the documents that they use in buying. That he was only a signatory because those transactions were done in his presence. I said, okay. He said, but however, they are not dragging the place where there is Banga farm. That they needed to create an access road to meet up on other land. That Madam still owns the land on this side and the land on this side, but there are companies who want to come and buy the property. That when the companies come, they will create a platform for them to negotiate with the company for their investment there and collect their community entitlement, and the family will now discuss with them on whatever they want to give them as compensation. And I said no. It was the Ekato family that would decide on how they will sell that land. It was nobody. The engineers are still alive. Even at some point, the what is it called? The engineer Festus was so angry with me with the fact that he felt maybe I was conniving with Chief Johnson to mislead them. I said no. I have written whatever you ask me to read, but these are our government people. You will see how this thing is not a do or die affair. When I saw the way the guy never had some level of trust anymore, I decided to pull out from the issue. And that was when they contacted Kotisugbo. The next thing before you know, Ugbo told the woman to come with documents. I was in Abuja. After a long period of time. I was in Abuja, Ugbo came. Told the woman to come with documents, how they transpired. The next thing was that Ugbo invited the woman to the palace. The woman came to the palace, he collected documents. After collecting documents, the next thing Ugbo did was that Ugbo called this woman on the phone and told her that the Oba of Benin said that this woman does not have land in that place. The woman is still alive. Mrs. Ekato is still alive. She's an adult. She has spoken on my platform. She can still speak again. Even as we speak, they are also doing their needful to ensure that they restrain anybody from going into their ancestral and aboriginal lands. But there are certain things we as people always decide to tell ourselves lies over. So for me, I am not an enemy of even the government I don't support. As a civil rights activist, as a civil crusader, as a social crusader, as a man who believes in the liberality of a society. That is in the basis in which I do my activism. I don't look into the components of what selfish interests are. I only look into the issues that border on the facts before me. And that is why you see each time I come out to say anything, I back it up with some level of facts. If the person who is telling me that information is not coming out, he would have to show me documents to back his claims. I don't just come out to say I want to talk because, maybe I want to entertain the audience. No. I don't come out to say I want to talk, maybe because I want to see how I can convince people to like me more. No. There are very many evil things that are going on in this Benin that not until when we decide to look into it holistically. As I speak to you today, there is no way in that palace that they will tell me that it's only Roland Okoye that is the bad head. Most of the letters, the communiques, or the statement of the palace that were used to intimidate these people from the community were signed by who? Was it the secretary? Was it the secretary? So my conscious Edo people, this question that we are asking should be looked into squarely. Look within the box. Roland Ekwe will install an enoge. There should be a letter or a certificate issued to that enoge from the palace. Because delegates were sent from the palace. So my conscious Edo people, having elaborated this far, I want to ask Kotisugbo, apart from this palace issue, do you have anything against me? Am I collecting your wife, or name it, that you are calling me an enemy of the palace? Do not forget, you once raised insults. There are videos to show everywhere. You once rain insult on the palace. I am not insulting the palace, I am only criticizing. If you say the academics you read in Uniport tells you that criticism is insult, criticism is how do I call it, enmity, then you have to check the content of education that you say you have gotten. Because for me, I have never for once insulted the monarch. And I will not. I will not. So my conscious Edo people might read my statements as offensive, pending on the content of your reasoning. But if you are open-minded, if you are free from racism, because the highest racism in the world is happening within we the black people. In this 21st century, the highest racism in the world is happening within we the blacks. That an Hausa man will no longer want to see an Igbo man. An Igbo man will no longer want to see an Hausa man. A Yoruba man will no longer want to see an Hausa man. A Delta man will no longer want to see a Benin man. A Bende man will not also want to see his own fellow Bendelites. So I don't know how we look at society, but the truth to be said is that not until when drawing board to get it right. We will not enjoy the dividends of these natural resources that God has kept in abundance for us. A very few people are living on surplus, while a vast minority is living on subtraction. People might call it tribalism. Forget about that English called tribalism. Tribalism is not as in-depth as racism. I'm telling you, people are racist over themselves, over their ethnicity, over their color, who is more darker, over the kind of food that they eat in Nigeria here. We are here, I'm telling you, it is not the generality of the education that you have learned in school, it is what is practicable in our society. And Hausa man will tell you that you don't have a say in your own country, that he is the majority, so therefore the minority should go to air. You must come to negotiate with them before they can give you power. That is the highest level of racism. Leave tribalism and ethnicity out of it. It is just a way of life to protect what is your own. But we are talking about when it goes beyond that. When it goes beyond that hate, that tribalism. We have gone beyond that. We have gone beyond that in this country. Except people are not looking at it the way it is. Today, you can imagine even Kotisugbo sat down, an elderly man of his age, who does not have a second address, rather than look for one organization where there is fruit or where people have used their intellectual lack of Kotisugbo. We know all of these things. We are cautious of what is happening. So my conscious Edo people, one thing that we must understand as a people is that if we are not ready to take civilization, we should come out and spell it out the way it is. This issue with Ugbo and me is simple, and I will have no other grounds. I'm saying this. I will have no other grounds than to do what is lawful to clear the air on these grounds. With Ugbo, Ugbo is a criminal. He is a criminal. Ugbo is a criminal. Let him take me to the court, because I will do so. He is a criminal. So my conscious Edo people, I will stop at nothing to ensure that I litigate on this assault that was meted out on me today. Destroying my gadgets, attacking my person, dehumanizing my person, because you feel that you are being given some authority. Now, to end my broadcast, I want to say, what really gives Ugbo the power to call somebody an enemy of the palace without the consent of the monarch? If Ugbo can actually look at a popular element with minute influence in our social life and cast aspersion on such a person to the extent that he calls such a person an enemy and order that the person property should be destroyed and address the person as a fucking. We all know how derogative such words are being used by people who are meant to address citizens and subjects. I think this issue needs to be looked inward for sanity, orderliness, fairness, respect, rule of law to be seen to be the order of our society. Once again, I want to thank every one of you who have stood firm to ensure that our voices are not intimidated to the latter. And for those of you who are also out there to ensure that justice, fairness is the subject of what transpired, I will have no other option than to greet you and to say God bless you. Once again, I remain no other person than yours noble rights activist, Comrade Aigbogu Emmanuel. For this evening, we will not be taking calls, owing to the fact that we would schedule that for a later day. I decided to come out because very many of my fans have been calling me to tell me to speak out. And for me, I don't see Ugbo as a challenge. Ugbo might think it's a challenge, but it's not. The best he can do, he has tried. I know the next he will be looking for now, that since that has failed, is to ensure that he mobilized thugs to come into my platform, to come attack me on the road, despite even the way they are galvanizing themselves here to attack me. So once again, my conscious Edo people